Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be exploring the role and mission and future direction of VNU IDT. That's the Vietnam National University's Institute of Digital Education and Testing.
Wow.
Yeah, so buckle up because we're about to uncover how this institute fits into the larger picture of Vietnamese education.
Sounds fascinating.
Yeah, I know. You might not think that decrees and strategic plans make for a thrilling read.
Right.
But trust me, the implications here are huge.
I bet.
Because we're talking about how technology is changing the way Vietnamese students learn, how they get assessed, and ultimately how their education is preparing them for the future.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We've got a stack of sources to sift through today, everything from the official decrees that establish the Institute to academic frameworks, and even a peek into their organizational structure. So kind of a mix of things. And what really struck me is that VNU IDT wasn't just like created out of thin air. It's actually the result of a merger between two already established entities, the Institute of Educational Quality Assurance and the VNU Testing Center.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that alone tells you something about their kind of integrated approach.
Absolutely. It's like they're building a bridge between two crucial aspects of education, ensuring quality and accurately measuring what students are learning. This merger, it seems to me at least, points to a real shift from simply digitizing existing methods to actually reimagining how education functions in a digital world.
Yeah. And speaking of reimagining, the term modern training models, it pops up repeatedly in their mission statement.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, what exactly does that look like in practice?
Well, that's where things get really fascinating. We're talking about leveraging the full potential of digital platforms to create flexible and personalized learning experiences.
Right.
You know, think interactive online modules, simulations, virtual labs, things that go beyond just watching a lecture online.
Okay. So they're clearly embracing technology.
Yeah.
But how does this all connect back to the bigger picture of Vietnamese education?
Well, Vietnam's government has actually made digital transformation a national priority, and they've outlined specific goals in Resolution 03, NQCP. And VNU IDT is essentially tasked with spearheading this transformation within the education sector, so their work directly supports those national goals.
So it's not just about tech for tech's sake.
No.
It's about aligning education with Vietnam's broader development strategy.
Exactly. And this brings us to another key phrase in their mission statement: transdisciplinary approaches. And this is about breaking down the traditional silos between subjects and recognizing that real-world problems require interconnected knowledge.
Okay. So how does this transdisciplinary approach actually play out in VNU IDT's work? Are we talking about entirely new courses or just a change in how existing subjects are taught?
It's a bit of both, really. They're collaborating with universities across Vietnam to develop online courses, especially for like core curriculum subjects. But the way these courses are designed, it encourages students to connect concepts from different fields. It's about fostering critical thinking and problem-solving skills that can be applied across disciplines.
That makes sense. So they're not just churning out digital content. They're really thinking about how to cultivate the skills that students will need in a rapidly evolving world. But how do you actually assess those kinds of skills? I mean, traditional exams, they don't always capture the full picture, do they?
Well, and that's where their expertise in assessment really comes in. They're deeply involved in developing what are called competency-based assessments. So instead of just testing rote memorization, these assessments actually focus on evaluating a student's ability to apply knowledge and skills in real-world contexts.
Okay. Can you give me an example of what a competency-based assessment might look like?
Sure. Let's say you're teaching engineering. So instead of just having students solve equations on a test, a competency-based assessment might actually involve presenting them with the simulated design challenge where they have to apply their knowledge of physics and math and design principles to create a solution.
Right.
So the focus is on demonstrating their ability to actually do something with what they've learned.
That's a much more practical and relevant way to assess learning, I think. It seems like they're really trying to bridge that gap between theory and practice.
You got it. That's exactly right. And this ties into another key area of their work, which is supporting Vietnamese universities in improving their rankings on global scales like QS and the HE.
The ranking game.
Yeah.
That can be a controversial topic.
It can be. It can be, but it's also a reality that universities have to navigate. So, by helping Vietnamese universities improve their research output, their international collaboration, and other factors that feed into these rankings, VNU IDT is aiming to raise the profile of Vietnamese education on the world stage.
Okay. That's a very ambitious goal. But let's get back to the students for a minute.
Mm.
How is all of this impacting their learning experience on a practical level? I mean, are they actually benefiting from these new approaches?
That's a crucial question, and one that really requires further investigation. It's still early days for VNU IAT. Their impact is still unfolding, but the potential is certainly there. By creating these high quality digital learning materials, developing more relevant assessments, and supporting universities in their digital transformation efforts, they're laying the groundwork for a more engaging, effective, and accessible education system.
Okay. So we've got this new institute at the heart of Vietnam's digital education push,
Mm.
and they're clearly aiming high. But how does all this translate into concrete uh, actions? Where were we seeing their fingerprints on the education system?
Right. So let's dive into some of their specific roles and responsibilities. One of their primary functions is to organize training and collaborate with other educational institutions, both within and outside of VNU, to develop digital learning materials.
Right.
So think online courses, assessment tools, and the platforms needed to deliver this content.
So they're not just creating the content, but also like figuring out the best way to deliver it and ensure that student learning can be effectively measured.
Precisely. And this goes beyond just university students. They're also tasked with developing digital content and testing methodologies for all levels of education, from primary schools to vocational training programs.
Wow, that's a huge scope of responsibility.
It is. It is. And their mandate actually goes beyond content creation and testing. They're also expected to conduct research, provide training and professional development, and even offer consulting services in the field of digital education and assessment.
So they're a real hub of expertise
Yeah.
driving innovation and best practices in digital learning across the country.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. They're also specifically charged with developing and operating these modern training models based on digital platforms.
It sounds like they're not just keeping up with technology; they're actively shaping the future of how education is delivered in Vietnam.
Exactly. Now, their organizational structure reflects this diverse function that they're responsible for. They have specialized departments that focus on online learning, research and development, and digital education, assessment and measurement, IT and communications, and administration.
So this all sounds very ambitious, but what does it actually look like in practice?
Right. So let's look at some concrete examples of their work. One of their key responsibilities is developing and delivering online courses, particularly for core subjects in university curriculums.
So they're actually creating the online courses themselves.
In many cases, yes, they work with subject matter experts from different universities to develop high-quality online learning materials that can be accessed by students across the country.
That's incredible. It really has the potential to level the playing field and provide equal access to quality education, regardless of location.
Exactly. And they're also deeply involved in developing and implementing competency-based assessments.
So moving away from traditional exams and towards evaluations that truly measure skills and knowledge.
Yes, they're working on building question banks, designing assessment tools, and even training educators on how to implement these new approaches.
And of course, we can't forget their role in supporting Vietnamese universities in achieving higher rankings on global scales.
Right. They provide guidance on improving research output, international collaboration, and other factors that contribute to those all important rankings.
It sounds like they have their fingers in just about every pie when it comes to digital education in Vietnam.
Yeah, they certainly play a pivotal role. Now, their efforts also directly align with Vietnam's national digital transformation agenda. The government has set specific targets for digital development, and VNU IDT is a key player in ensuring that the education sector meets those goals.
So they're not just operating in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Their work is part of a larger national strategy.
Precisely, and the strategy includes ambitious goals for things like online service delivery, digital literacy, and the development of a robust digital economy.
Okay.
So VNU IDT's work in building a strong digital education system is essential for achieving those broader objectives.
Wow. It's amazing to see how this one institute is connected to so many different aspects of Vietnam's development. It's a reminder that education is truly the foundation for progress.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Now, as we dive deeper into the institute's work, it's important to remember that this is still a relatively new organization.
It was only established earlier this year in January.
Right. So they're still in the process of defining their role,
Yeah.
establishing procedures and building partnerships.
Exactly, and it'll be fascinating to watch how they evolve in the coming years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are bound to be challenges along the way, but the potential impact of their work is enormous.
Agreed. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the broader context of digital transformation in higher education.
Perfect. Because VNU IDT isn't operating in isolation. They're part of a global trend.
Right. All around the world, universities are grappling with how to integrate technology into teaching, learning, and research.
And it's not just about using technology for the sake of using technology.
Right.
It's about finding ways to leverage it to improve the quality and accessibility of education.
Exactly. And that requires a fundamental shift in thinking.
A shift away from traditional lecture-based models toward more interactive, student-centered approaches.
Yes, and a recognition that learning is no longer confined to the classroom or a specific period of life. It's a lifelong process that happens everywhere.
Yeah. We're seeing the rise of things like online learning, blended learning, and personalized learning pathways.
All made possible by advances in technology.
Yeah. And VNU IDT is right at the forefront of this transformation in Vietnam.
Yeah, they're playing a key role in helping universities adapt to these changes and develop the digital capabilities that they need to thrive in the 21st century.
Now, one of the key frameworks for understanding this transformation is the concept of University 4.0.
Right. This builds on the idea of Industry 4.0, which focuses on automation, data exchange, and emerging technologies.
So University 4.0 is about applying those same principles to higher education.
Exactly. It's about using technology to create a more personalized, flexible, and data-driven learning experience.
And to connect universities more closely with industry and society.
Precisely. University 4.0 is about breaking down traditional silos and creating a more integrated and responsive ecosystem.
Now, there are many different models and frameworks for implementing University 4.0.
All right. One that stands out is the Higher Education Digital Capability Framework developed by Holland IQ.
Okay. And what's interesting about this framework?
Well, it provides a comprehensive roadmap for digital transformation in higher education. It covers everything from leadership and strategy to infrastructure and pedagogy.
So it's a practical guide for universities looking to navigate this complex landscape.
Exactly. It helps them assess their current digital maturity, identify areas for improvement, and develop a tailored strategy for moving forward.
Now, how does VNU IDT fit into this broader framework of University 4.0?
Right. So they play a crucial role in supporting Vietnamese universities as they strive to achieve the goals of University 4.0.
Okay.
They provide expertise, resources, and training in areas like online course development, data analytics, and digital leadership.
So they're helping to build the capacity of universities to embrace these new approaches.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about some of the specific ways that Vietnamese universities are embracing digital transformation.
Sure. One prominent example is the increasing adoption of learning management systems,
Okay.
or LMS.
Okay.
These are platforms that allow universities to deliver online courses, manage student interactions, and track progress.
Right.
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 LMS platforms like Moodle, Canvas, and Blackboard are becoming increasingly common in Vietnamese universities.
And these platforms are essential for enabling blended learning and online learning models.
Absolutely. They provide the infrastructure for creating and delivering engaging digital learning experiences.
Another trend that we're seeing is the use of data analytics to personalize learning and improve student outcomes.
Right. Universities are starting to collect and analyze data on student behavior, performance, and engagement.
And this data can be used to provide targeted support,
Hmm.
tailor learning pathways, and identify areas where courses need improvement.
Exactly. It's about using data to make education more responsive to the needs of individual learners.
And this is where VNU IDT's expertise in assessment and data analysis comes in.
Precisely. They can help universities develop the systems and skills that they need to effectively leverage data to enhance the learning experience.
Now, another exciting area of innovation is the use of artificial intelligence in education.
Right. And this is still in the early stages, but we're starting to see AI being used for things like personalized tutoring, automated grading, and even chatbot-based student support.
Sounds like science fiction.
It's becoming a reality, and
Yeah.
and VNU IDT is actively researching and experimenting with these emerging technologies.
So they're not just focused on what's happening today,
Yeah.
but also looking ahead to the future of learning.
Absolutely, they understand the digital transformation is an ongoing process, and they're committed to staying at the forefront of innovation.
Now, of course, with any major transformation comes challenges.
Right.
Yeah.
Digital transformation in higher education is no exception.
So, what are some of the key challenges facing Vietnamese universities as they embark on this journey?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is the need for significant investment in infrastructure.
So, we're talking about things like reliable internet access,
Right.
modern computer labs, and secure data storage.
Exactly. And for many universities, especially those in rural areas, this requires substantial financial resources.
Another challenge is the need to develop the digital skills of both faculty and students.
Right. Not everyone is comfortable using technology for teaching and learning.
And it takes time and training to develop those skills.
Exactly. Universities need to provide ongoing professional development opportunities for faculty and support services for students who may be struggling.
And another challenge is ensuring equitable access to technology and digital learning opportunities.
Right. We talked earlier about the digital divide. It's essential that all students, regardless of their background or location, have the chance to benefit from digital education.
And that means addressing issues of affordability, accessibility, and digital literacy.
Exactly. Now, alongside these practical challenges, there are also some cultural and mindset shifts that need to happen.
Like what?
Well, For one, there can be resistance to change. Some faculty members may be hesitant to embrace new technologies and teaching methods.
It's understandable. It can be daunting to step outside of your comfort zone.
Absolutely, but it's essential that universities create a culture of innovation and experimentation.
A culture where faculty feel supported and encouraged to try new things.
Exactly. Another mindset shift that needs to happen is a move away from a purely knowledge-based approach to education.
Toward a more holistic approach that values skills, creativity, and critical thinking.
Yes. In today's rapidly changing world, it's not enough to simply um, memorize facts. Students need to be able to adapt, solve problems, and think creatively.
And digital technologies can be powerful tools for fostering those skills.
Absolutely.
Now, let's bring it back to VNU IDT. What are some of the key challenges and opportunities they face as they work to support digital transformation in higher education?
Right. So one of their biggest challenges is keeping up with the rapid pace of technological change.
It's a constant race to stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. They need to be constantly monitoring emerging technologies, assessing their potential impact on education, and developing strategies for incorporating them into their work.
Another challenge is finding and retaining top talent.
Yes, the field of digital education is highly competitive.
Yeah.
They need to be able to attract and retain the best and brightest minds.
And that means offering competitive salaries, professional development opportunities, and a stimulating work environment.
Exactly. Now, despite these challenges, VNU IDT also has some amazing opportunities.
Like what?
Well, for one, they have the full backing of the Vietnamese government.
Yeah, we talked earlier about the national digital transformation agenda. VNU IDT is a key player in that agenda.
Right. And that gives them a level of support and influence that few other organizations have.
Another opportunity is the chance to collaborate with universities and organizations around the world.
Yeah, digital education is a global phenomenon. There's a lot of knowledge and expertise that can be shared across borders.
And VNU IDT is well positioned to be a leader in that global exchange of ideas.
Absolutely. They have the potential to not only transform education in Vietnam, but also to contribute to the advancement of digital learning worldwide.
Now, as we wrap up this deep dive, it's clear that VNU IDT is playing a critical role in shaping the future of education in Vietnam.
Yeah, they're at the forefront of a movement that's redefining what it means to learn and teach in the 21st century.
And their work has the potential to impact not just students and educators, but also the broader society.
Agreed. A strong digital education system is essential for building a thriving and innovative economy.
So as we look to the future, what are some of the key questions we should be asking about the role of VNU IDT in the future of digital learning in Vietnam?
Well, one question is how they can ensure equitable access to digital learning opportunities for all students.
Yeah, we talked earlier about the digital divide.
Right.
Bridging that divide is essential for creating a truly inclusive education system.
Another question is how they can support the development of 21st century skills in students.
Skills like critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, and collaboration.
Exactly. These are the skills that students need to succeed in today's rapidly changing world.
Another question is how they can foster a culture of innovation and experimentation in higher education.
Right. We need universities that are willing to embrace new technologies and teaching methods.
Universities that are constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible in digital learning.
Precisely. And finally, we need to be asking how VNU IDT can best leverage its expertise and resources to support the broader national digital transformation agenda.
Right. Their work has implications that go far beyond the classroom.
Agreed. A strong digital education system is essential for building a prosperous and innovative Vietnam.
So as we conclude our deep dive into VNU IDT, I'm left with a sense of both excitement and anticipation.
Me too.
Yeah.
There are challenges ahead, but the potential for positive impact is enormous.
I don't know about you, but I'm eager to see what the future holds for this dynamic and forward-thinking institute.
I share your enthusiasm. VNU IDT's story is one worth following closely.
Well said. I think this has been an incredibly insightful deep dive, and I hope you, our listener, feel the same as you reflect on what we've discussed today. What are your thoughts? What questions does this raise for you about the future of learning in Vietnam and beyond?
We encourage you to continue exploring this topic
Yeah.
and to stay engaged with the important work being done by VNU IDT.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon to continue exploring the fascinating work of VNU IDT.
See you next time. Now let's dive into some of the specific initiatives and projects that VNU IDT is undertaking.
Yeah, I was wondering when we get to the hands-on stuff.
Right.
It's one thing to talk about grand vision, but I'm always keen to see how those ideas actually take shape in the real world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One area where they're making significant headway is in developing and piloting new models for online and blended learning.
Okay, so we're moving beyond theory and into actual classrooms. Can you give us some concrete examples?
Sure. They've partnered with several universities to create blended learning programs for core curriculum subjects like
Yeah.
like math, science, and English.
Okay, blended learning, that seems to be the buzzword these days. What does that look like in this specific context?
Well, it's about finding the sweet spot between the flexibility of online learning and the benefits of face-to-face interaction.
Okay.
So these programs involve a mix of online learning activities, traditional classroom sessions, and personalized support from instructors.
So it's not an all or nothing approach. They're recognizing that different learning styles and needs require a more nuanced approach.
Exactly. And what's really impressive is that VNU IDT isn't just throwing these programs out there and hoping for the best. They're conducting rigorous research to evaluate the effectiveness of these blended learning models and identify best practices.
That's the kind of data-driven approach I like to see.
Yeah.
It's essential to measure impact and make adjustments as needed. Otherwise, you're just blindly implementing technology without any real understanding of its effects.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Another project that caught my eye is their work in developing a national question bank.
Okay, this sounds intriguing. What exactly is a national question bank, and why is it so important?
Well, imagine a centralized repository of high-quality assessment questions that can be used by universities across Vietnam.
So instead of each university creating its own exams from scratch, they can draw from this shared pool of questions.
Precisely. And here's the key. The question bank is designed to be aligned with national curriculum standards and the competency-based assessment frameworks that we discussed earlier.
So it ensures consistency and quality across the education system. Students in different universities are being assessed on the same standards. And those assessments are actually measuring the skills and knowledge that matter most.
You hit the nail on the head. It's about raising the bar for assessment practices nationwide, and VNU IDT is going a step further by developing online platforms for administering these assessments securely and efficiently.
So they're not just providing the questions; they're also creating the infrastructure for delivering those assessments in a digital environment.
All right.
That's a comprehensive approach.
Yeah, it is. And they're even working on integrating data analytics into the assessment process.
Data analytics, another one of those buzzwords.
Yeah.
But in this context, it sounds incredibly valuable.
It is. By analyzing assessment data, educators can gain insights into student performance, identify areas where students are struggling, and provide personalized feedback.
So it's about using data to tailor instruction to individual needs and to identify any systemic issues that might be hindering student learning.
Precisely. It's about using data to drive continuous improvement in the education system.
Yeah. In addition to these projects focused on teaching and assessment, VNU IDT is also doing a lot of work in the area of research and capacity building.
Yes, they recognize that building a strong digital education system requires more than just developing tools and resources. It also requires generating new knowledge and empowering educators with the skills they need to thrive in this evolving landscape.
So what kind of research are they undertaking?
Well, their research agenda is quite broad. It covers a wide range of topics related to digital education and assessment. They're investigating the effectiveness of different online learning platforms, exploring the impact of technology on student engagement, and even developing new assessment methodologies.
It sounds like they're really trying to stay the cutting edge of innovation in this field.
They are, and they're not just keeping that knowledge to themselves. They're actively involved in capacity building initiatives, providing training and professional development opportunities for educators and administrators across Vietnam.
That's fantastic. It's about empowering educators to become agents of change in their own institutions.
Exactly. They offer workshops, seminars, and online courses on topics like online course design, data analytics, and digital leadership.
So they're not just handing out tools; they're equipping educators with the knowledge and skills to use those tools effectively. That's a crucial piece of the puzzle.
It is, and it reflects their understanding that sustainable change requires a systemic approach.
Yeah.
You need to empower individuals, build strong institutions, and create an environment that fosters innovation.
Yeah, as we've been discussing VNU IDT's work, I've noticed a recurring theme. They seem to be very focused on not just implementing technology, but also on evaluating its impact and ensuring that it's truly improving education.
You're absolutely right. They have a strong commitment to evidence-based decision making.
Which is so refreshing to see, because it's easy to get caught up in the hype of new technologies without taking the time to assess whether they're actually benefiting students.
Exactly. VNU IDT recognizes that technology is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used effectively or ineffectively.
So they're approaching digital transformation with a sense of caution and purpose. They're not just throwing technology at the problem. They're carefully considering how to use it to achieve specific educational goals.
Precisely. And that thoughtful approach is essential for ensuring that technology serves as a catalyst for positive change in education.
Now let's step back for a moment and think about the broader implications of VNU IDT's work.
Okay.
Because their efforts are part of a much larger story about the future of education in Vietnam and beyond. We're living in a time of unprecedented technological change, and that change is having a profound impact on every aspect of our lives,
Right.
including education.
Including education, we're seeing a shift away from traditional models of education toward more personalized, flexible, and technology-enabled approaches.
Yeah.
And this shift is happening globally, not just in Vietnam.
What are some of the key drivers behind this global shift?
Well, several factors are converging to drive this transformation. The rapid pace of technological innovation is certainly a major force.
Yeah.
New technologies are constantly emerging, creating new possibilities for teaching and learning, and the growing demand for 21st century skills is another key driver.
Yeah, we've talked about those skills before: critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, communication, and collaboration. These are the skills that employers are increasingly looking for in today's workforce.
Exactly. And traditional education systems often struggle to cultivate these skills effectively.
Yeah.
So there's a growing recognition that we need to find new ways to prepare students for the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century.
And technology is seen as a key enabler of that transformation.
It is. Technology can provide access to vast amounts of information, connect learners with experts around the world, and create immersive and engaging learning experiences.
So it's not just about what happens in the classroom anymore. Learning is becoming a lifelong process that takes place everywhere all the time.
Precisely. And technology is blurring the lines between formal and informal learning, creating a more fluid and personalized learning landscape.
So VNU IDT's work is part of a global movement to reimagine education for the digital age.
Exactly. And the stakes are high. Well, because the future of Vietnam's economy and society depends on having a highly educated and skilled workforce, a
Yeah.
workforce that's equipped with the knowledge, the skills, and the mindsets to thrive in a world that's increasingly driven by technology and innovation.
And that's where VNU IDT's work in building a strong digital education system becomes so crucial.
Precisely. Their efforts are laying the groundwork for a future where all Vietnamese citizens have the opportunity to reach their full potential and contribute to the nation's success.
Now, as we look to the future, what are some of the key trends and developments that we should be paying attention to in the field of digital education?
Well, one trend that's already making waves is the growing use of artificial intelligence or AI in education.
Yeah, we touched on this earlier with examples like personalized tutoring and automated grading. But it sounds like AI is poised to play an even bigger role in the future.
Absolutely. AI has the potential to revolutionize many aspects of education, from personalizing learning pathways to providing real-time feedback to automating administrative tasks.
So it's not about replacing teachers with robots.
Raw.
It's about using AI to augment human capabilities and create more effective and efficient learning environments.
Exactly. Another trend that's gaining momentum is the rise of virtual reality and augmented reality in learning.
hmm I've heard a lot about the potential of these immersive technologies, but how are they actually being used in education?
Well, VR and AR can create incredibly engaging learning experiences. Imagine being able to virtually step inside a human heart to learn about anatomy or travel to ancient Rome to explore history.
Yeah, that would definitely make learning more memorable and exciting.
Exactly. And VR and AR can also be used to simulate real world scenarios, allowing students to develop practical skills in a safe and controlled environment.
So medical students could practice surgery in a virtual operating room,
Right.
or pilots could train on a flight simulator without ever leaving the ground.
Precisely. VR and AR offer a powerful new set of tools for experiential learning.
Another trend that we've already touched on is the increasing emphasis on personalized learning. It seems like the one-size-fits-all model of education is becoming increasingly outdated.
It is. Students have different learning styles, interests, and goals, and technology is making it possible to tailor learning experiences to the needs of each individual student.
So instead of everyone following the same curriculum at the same pace, students can have more control over their learning journey.
Exactly. We're seeing the rise of adaptive learning platforms that adjust the difficulty and pace of instruction based on student performance, providing a more personalized and engaging learning experience.
And we're also seeing the use of learning analytics to track student progress and provide personalized feedback.
Hmm.
And this allows educators to identify students who are struggling and intervene early, as well as to tailor instruction to individual needs.
Exactly. Personalized learning is all about empowering students to take ownership of their learning and providing them with the support they need to succeed.
And of course, we can't forget about the growing focus on developing 21st century skills. And as students, we've talked about this at length, but it's worth reiterating.
Absolutely. These skills are essential for success in today's rapidly changing world, and digital technologies can be powerful tools for fostering these skills.
How so?
Well, digital technologies provide opportunities for students to create, to experiment, to collaborate and connect with others in meaningful ways. You know,
Yeah.
they can use technology to design projects, build prototypes, solve problems, and share their ideas with the world.
So technology can help to bridge the gap between the classroom and the real world.
Exactly. It can help to make learning more relevant, engaging, and impactful.
Now, as we think about all of these exciting trends and developments, it's important to remember that technology is just a tool.
Right. The real transformation in education is not about technology. It's about pedagogy. It's about how we teach and how students learn.
So technology can help us to do those things better, but it's not a silver bullet.
Exactly. We still need skilled and dedicated educators who are passionate about teaching and learning. Educators who can guide students, inspire them, and help them to reach their full potential.
And we need to be mindful of the potential downsides of technology.
Right.
Screen time, digital distractions, and the potential for technology to exacerbate existing inequalities are all valid concerns.
Absolutely. We need to use technology thoughtfully and intentionally in education. We need to be critical consumers of technology and to make sure that it's serving our educational goals, not the other way around.
Now, as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to focus on a specific challenge facing VNU IDT. They're tasked with transforming education on a national scale, which is a massive undertaking. And Vietnam is a diverse country with varying levels of technological infrastructure and digital literacy.
That's a great point. Ensuring that their efforts reach all students and educators, regardless of their location or background, is a significant challenge.
Absolutely. So how can VNU IDT overcome this challenge and create a truly equitable digital education system?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's one that they're actively grappling with.
Yeah.
They're exploring a variety of strategies to ensure that their work benefits all Vietnamese citizens.
What are some of those strategies?
Well, for one, they're working closely with the Ministry of Education and Training,
Okay.
or MOE, to align their efforts with national education policies and priorities. This ensures that their work is integrated into the broader education system, and that they're not operating in isolation.
Yeah, that's essential. They need to be working in partnership with the government to achieve systemic change.
Exactly. They're also working to build partnerships with universities and educational organizations across the country. This allows them to share resources, expertise, best practices, and to create a more cohesive and collaborative approach to digital transformation.
So it's about creating a network of support and innovation across the entire education system.
Precisely. And they're also exploring ways to leverage technology to reach students in remote areas. This includes things like online learning platforms, mobile learning apps, and satellite-based internet access.
Yeah, it's inspiring to see their commitment to ensuring that all students have the opportunity to benefit from digital education, regardless of where they live.
Agreed. It's an ambitious goal, but one that's essential for creating a more equitable and prosperous Vietnam.
Now, as we move into the final part of our deep dive, I want to shift our focus to a topic that's closely tied to VNU IDT's mission, the role of digital assessment in ensuring quality and accountability in education.
Yeah, that's a crucial topic, and one that's often overlooked in discussions about digital transformation.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of new technologies and teaching methods without thinking about how we're going to measure student learning and ensure that those methods are actually effective.
Exactly. Assessment is the cornerstone of any education system. It's how we determine whether students are learning what they need to know and whether our teaching methods are effective.
So let's explore this topic in more detail and see how digital assessment can play a role in shaping the future of Vietnamese education.
Sounds good. Let's dive in.
So we've talked a lot about VNU IDT's role in creating digital learning content and supporting Vietnamese universities in their digital transformation journeys. But now I'm really curious to delve into the assessment side of things. How can digital assessments help us to ensure that students are actually learning and mastering the skills they need for the future?
Well, that's a fundamental question, and it's one that digital assessments are uniquely positioned to address. For starters, they can be designed to measure a wider range of skills and knowledge than traditional paper-based tests.
Okay, so we're not just talking about multiple choice quizzes here.
Right.
What kinds of skills are we talking about specifically?
Well, think critical thinking, problem-solving abilities, creativity, collaboration, the kinds of skills that are increasingly in demand in today's workforce, but are often difficult to assess using traditional methods. Digital assessments can present students with complex scenarios, simulations, or even open-ended tasks that require them to apply their knowledge in more authentic and meaningful ways.
So it's about moving beyond rote memorization and testing students' ability to actually do something with what they've learned. That sounds much more aligned with the goals of competency-based education.
Exactly. And digital assessments can also provide more personalized feedback to students, which is crucial for helping them to identify their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
And to guide their learning.
Yeah, that's a huge advantage over traditional exams where students often just receive a grade without any real insight into what they did well or where they need to improve.
Right. Instead of just seeing a number or a letter grade, students can receive detailed feedback on specific aspects of their performance. They can see which questions they answered correctly, which ones they struggled with, and what they can do to improve in those areas.
It's like having a personalized tutor built into the assessment process.
In a way, yes. And this kind of feedback can be incredibly motivating for students. It helps them to see their progress, to understand their areas for growth, and to feel more invested in their learning.
That makes a lot of sense. And on the educator side, digital assessments can provide valuable data that can be used to improve teaching and learning.
That's right. Educators can use assessment data to track student progress over time, to identify trends in student performance, and to make adjustments to their instruction as needed. They can see which concepts students are grasping easily, which ones they're struggling with, and where they might need to provide additional support or adjust their teaching strategies.
So it's about using data to make education more responsive to the needs of individual learners and to drive continuous improvement in the classroom.
Exactly. And this brings us to another important aspect of digital assessment, its potential to improve accountability in education.
Okay, this sounds intriguing. How can digital assessments enhance accountability?
Well, for one, digital assessments can provide more objective and reliable data on student learning than traditional assessment methods, because digital assessments can be standardized and automated. There's less room for human error or bias in grading.
That makes sense. If you're relying on teachers to manually grade essays or open-ended responses, there's always going to be some degree of subjectivity involved.
Right. And that subjectivity can make it difficult to compare student performance across different classrooms or schools.
Yeah.
Digital assessments can help to level the playing field by providing a more consistent and objective measure of student learning.
So the data from digital assessments can be used to hold schools and educators accountable for student outcomes. If students in a particular school or district are consistently underperforming, that data can be used to identify areas where improvement is needed.
Exactly. And it can also be used to track progress over time and to see whether interventions or changes in teaching strategies are having the desired effect.
Yeah, it sounds like digital assessments can be powerful tools for driving quality improvement in education, both at the classroom level and at the system level.
They certainly can, but it's important to remember that digital assessments are not a panacea. They come with their own set of challenges and considerations.
So, what are some of the challenges that need to be addressed when implementing digital assessments?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is ensuring that the assessments are valid and reliable. This means making sure that they actually measure what they're supposed to measure and that the results are consistent and accurate.
So if you're designing a digital assessment to measure critical thinking skills, you need to make sure that the tasks or questions actually require students to think critically and that the scoring system accurately reflects their level of critical thinking ability.
Exactly. And you also need to make sure that the assessment is reliable, meaning that students would get similar scores if they took the assessment multiple times. This requires careful attention to test design, question development, and scoring procedures.
Another important consideration is ensuring that the assessments are fair and equitable for all students.
Absolutely. We need to make sure that the assessments are accessible to students with disabilities.
Yeah.
And that they don't disadvantage students from certain backgrounds. This requires attention to things like language accessibility, assistive technology compatibility, and cultural sensitivity in test content.
And we also need to be mindful of the potential for digital assessments to increase test anxiety and pressure on students.
Right. Students are already under a lot of pressure to perform well on exams, and the digital environment can sometimes amplify those anxieties.
Yeah. It's important to remember that the assessments are just one piece of the puzzle that should be used to support learning, not to punish or intimidate students.
I completely agree. It's all about finding the right balance between accountability and student well-being.
Now, given all these challenges, how is VNU IDT working to ensure that digital assessments are implemented effectively and ethically in Vietnam?
Well, they're taking a multifaceted approach, focusing on both the technical aspects of assessment development and the broader pedagogical and ethical considerations.
Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. On the technical side, they're playing a leading role
Well,
in developing high quality digital assessments and promoting best practices for their use. They've developed a set of guidelines for competency-based assessment that emphasize the importance of aligning assessments with learning outcomes and real-world skills. This ensures that the assessments are not just about rote memorization, but about demonstrating practical abilities and applying knowledge in meaningful contexts.
and they're also working to develop assessments that are accessible to students with disabilities, ensuring that all students have an equal opportunity to demonstrate their learning.
Exactly. They're also conducting research on the impact of digital assessments on student motivation and engagement, recognizing that assessment should not just be about measurement, but also about fostering a positive learning environment.
It sounds like they're really taking a holistic approach to digital assessment, considering not just the technical aspects, but also the human impact.
Yes, they understand that assessments are not just about data points. They're about students, teachers, and the learning process as a whole. They're committed to using digital assessments in a way that supports learning, promotes equity, and helps to create a more effective and engaging education system for all Vietnamese students.
Well, this has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into the work of VNU IDT. We've covered a lot of ground from their role in developing digital learning content and supporting universities in their digital transformation journeys to their groundbreaking work in competency-based assessment. It's clear that they're playing a pivotal role in shaping the future of education in Vietnam, and I'm excited to see what they accomplish in the years to come.
I agree. Their work is truly inspiring, and it's a testament to the power of technology to transform education for the better.
And I hope you, our listener, have found this deep dive as fascinating, informative as we have. As you reflect on what we've discussed today, what are your key takeaways? What questions or insights are you left with about the role of digital education and assessment in shaping the future of learning?
We encourage you to continue exploring this topic and to stay engaged with the important work being done by VNU IDT and other organizations around the world that are committed to transforming education for the digital age.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.